Happy Spookies, everybody. I hope you're all doing well, having a most excellent day, and we are back with another episode of Found Footage Friday. Today we're going to cover Isaac Rodriguez's latest film, Mr. Creep.
According to police, Beth Stewart, Val Peterson, John Riddell, and Dave Burke, students at South Vista Community College, were filming a school project and have been missing for almost a week. Police say they believe this was their vehicle and have found a backpack inside the trunk with their film equipment, flashlights, and oddly, a doll. Friends of the students say the group was filming a documentary of the rumored murderer Joe Yates, an internet-fueled story of a psychotic serial killer who people claim killed hundreds in this area over 20 years ago.
Also, I gotta start off with one of these. If you are watching Liquid Death, just throwing it out there, it'd be cool to be fucking sponsored. You guys should drink this. It is so refreshing. It is very fulfilling, and there's things about this that on a psychological level really just touch you in a way that you have never been touched before. Hey yo, what the fuck? Drink Liquid Death. It's great water. And if you're not familiar with Isaac Rodriguez, I've covered him on the channel before. He's done quite a few found footage films, a lot of short films. I'll go ahead and leave a link to his YouTube channel. He's done found footage films such as A Town Full of Ghosts, which I believe was his latest one. My favorite one of his would have to be Last Radio Call. He also has done this other really cool one that's more like a screen life one called Deadware. He has this really cool one that just takes completely on a porch. Like the whole movie is set on the front porch camera called Unknown Visitor. So to you, dude, to the crew that you are always working with, to your producers and everybody that just believes in you, shout out because you are fucking awesome. The movie stars Brian D. Anderson as Mr. Creep. We have Thomas Burke, whoop, whoop, as Dave. We have, look, I cannot say this last name, so I'm gonna just say Ali A. as John. We have Judy McMillan as Mary. We also have Amber Lee Solis as Beth. And we have Shayla Payne as Val. Okay, so this movie centers around an urban legend around this guy named Mr. Creep. He was a notorious serial killer. Now, why I say urban legend, because there's evidence of his killings, but it was never brought to light, I believe. It was all... Really? We're not open for another hour and a half. So yes, there is evidence of this guy doing his killings. He's killed about 200 people, and I believe he's killed his family. But it was never brought to light. It was never put in the media or in the news or anything like that. They mentioned it briefly, mostly because of political reasons. I think the person who ran the town at the time just didn't want a huge scandal on his hands. They eventually caught this guy, but I believe ended up escaping. Really quick, I just want to mention the camera guy in this movie is played by Thomas Burke, who is a buddy of mine. He's got a YouTube channel with a great short found footage film called Camping Fun. Please check it out. But yeah, we have our 4 college misfits. They're doing their final school project, and their final project, I believe, is being done on missing cases, missing people. I believe they mentioned something like where they live. It just has an insanely amount of missing people. But I really enjoy the way they're introduced to this urban legend, Mr. Creep. One of the 4 friends, Val, she is, how would I say it? She's got a morbid curiosity. She's like joined online chat groups, probably like a 4chan group or something like that. And they're like, or murder sympathizers, but they're like people that just kind of somewhat sympathize with murderers. She even believes that if she ever got a chance to talk to this Mr. Creep guy, she just felt like she could have changed them. I don't know, that's wild. What's crazy is there's people like that for sure, dude. But it's just funny how they're introduced. She's trying to explain to him like the myth and everything that this guy went around killing 200 people. But not just that, he would also record his killings and broadcast them through like a just regular TV channel. All you would need is like an old school TV and an antenna, and he would broadcast like these really sick, demented videos. Think of the movie Sinister in a sense where like, Ethan Hawke finds those found footage style videos, but a little more creepier. Like the ones in Sinister were just straight out brutal and fucked up. These are just more on a creepy fucking level. So after Val explains who Mr. Creep was, what's funny is the dude John, played by Ali, who I just want to say is probably the best actor in the movie. Hands down, this guy is a good actor in my opinion. He even calls her out and he says like, sounds like some creepy noodles bullshit, which I believe is a reference to like creepypasta shit online, those weird stories. But of course, these 4 kids are now very curious. They try to track down the broadcast themselves, and it just goes into this very chaotic ending. I want to say now the best parts of this movie have to be the interview sessions that we see with Mr. Creep, because throughout the movie it's cutting between this old interview with Mr. Creep and a police officer and it's going back and forth with the main story. And these interviews are the best part. I really enjoyed the lore that Mr. Creep tells about, like, you know, why he's sort of doing these things. If you ever watched the movie A Record of Sweet Murder by Koji Shirayashi, then you will kind of know what I'm talking about after you watch this movie, because in that movie, it's all about this escaped mental patient who gets in contact with an old childhood friend, one of 3 friends he had when he was growing up. The last friend ended up dying in a horrific accident. And when that guy gets in contact with his friend, who is a journalist, doing a story on him actually escaping, he tells her that he spoke to God, and God told him that he has to kill like 27 people by his 27th birthday, and he will be able to like revive their childhood friend. So in a sense, I'm not saying it's exactly like that, but in a sense, it's somewhat like that, where this Mr. Creep guy has to kill like a certain amount of people for something to happen. Every time that there's an interview session on screen, it is very creepy, and a lot has to do with the Mr. Creep guy and his like mask, which is crazy because you're looking at him and like, is that face paint or is that a mask? But it was a mask that was like burned onto him as a kid, and it's just always stayed on there. So there's this guy in like a straitjacket with this fucking creepy clown like fused face. It is wildly fucking unsettling. There's this older lady in the movie, Judy McMillan, I believe her name was. She was creepy, dude. Overall, it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. There are little things about it, like certain line deliveries that I personally feel fell short. And not even all. There's like maybe 2 times where I was just like, you know, I don't know. That line felt a little unnatural, or just didn't feel like well delivered. But other than that, I have no issues with the movie. It's a great story. Don't get me wrong. I love the concept of this urban legend, trying to hunt down this urban legend through a old TV broadcast. I thought that was really cool. All right, no spoilers, at least no huge spoilers at what happens to the end or exactly the lore of Mr. Creep. I know I gave some examples with other movies, but just that's the stuff that I got while watching this movie. I got like some sinister vibes with like the tapes, and with the Mr. Creep guy, I got the vibes from A Record of Sweet Murder. Overall, no major complaints on my end. This is a found footage movie that is worth watching and checking out. Honestly, anything this guy puts out is worth watching and checking out. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and shut up. I'm probably just rambling at this point. I should probably get to work. Let me know if you've watched any found footage movies lately, or just any movies in general. I'm down to talk. Happy Spookies. And really quick, I want to give a huge shout out to moviepalette.com for going over and sending me this fucking awesome movie palette of The Thing. How do I know it's The Thing? Well, because I chose it, but it also says it right there. Look at this beauty. Now, what's amazing about this is each color has been chosen by each one of their team members specifically to represent a frame from the movie. That's right, every strip you see here has been chosen in chronological order to represent a scene from the movie in its entirety. So technically I have the whole movie in one freaking palette. How amazing is that? Also, you know what's really cool? They also gave me a code to share with all of you to get 15% off your order. So go ahead and use Freddy15 when you order to get 15% off. How freaking awesome is that? I just think this is absolutely beautiful. It makes a great gift if you're somebody that's into sort of collecting these type of things, or movie posters. Also, it makes an awesome gift for a significant other. They also have a variety of movies from Star Wars to Coraline. So go ahead and check them out. Again, use the code Freddy15 for 15% off.